What's going on, guys? It's another Cowboys One Take, and today we gotta have this uncomfortable conversation. And a gentleman who works for Gearbox, that is one of the producers of Boarderlands 4, he made a comment that has the rounds going on right now, and he said, if you're a real fan, you'll pay $80 for the new Borderlands game. And here's my issue with that, or actually the lack of issue with that. I personally think everything he said was 100% correct. See, for me, I'm more into logic versus emotions. So when I heard that statement, my emotions didn't grab me. I didn't get upset. I just listened to what he said and my logic took over. See, I'm more into fact versus assumptions. And the fact is, if you are a real fan for anything in life, you will pay for it if you could afford it. So that's the fact. The assumption is everybody who wants something can't afford it, so it's messed up that the big companies make something too expensive so I can't afford it. That's the assumption. But the fact is, if you want something, you'll pay for it. So let me back up a little bit. I made a video probably 2 months ago, and I was really hard on my friend Purple Haze and the other supporters of $80 games. See, I don't think a game should be $80. Personally, I think games probably should go back to $59.99. That's me personally. But there was so much pushback with Nintendo fans and people who feel that gaming is a luxury and just all this other stuff. But I said it. Once Nintendo does it, other companies will do it because they're going to follow suit. So the mentality is these companies are watching other people and content creators and gamers and companies all say, hey, this is okay. Now, I know some people don't want to pay $80, but because they love their thing, like Nintendo fans, they'll come up with any type of reason to make it okay and acceptable to pay $80, like tariffs, like things back in the day used to cost more than that, so years later, or back in the day it should have been this price, and years later this is the price it should be. There's a lot of reasons why people is going to back it up, but it's just because it's a human mentality to say, I want my thing to win. And when there's a conversation and your thing looks bad, you're just going to accept anything to make your thing look like it's a win or give your thing an excuse. And inflation is a real thing, but at the end of the day, it's an excuse to use that to say $80 games is acceptable, because if that was the case, everybody would have $80 games, and that's not the case. So let's back up a little bit on this guy and what he said. His actual words or statement was, if you are a real fan of Borderlands 4, you will pay $80 if the price is $80, right? That's 100% correct. So I'm not here saying that I think Borderlands should be $80. I'm not here saying I think you should pay $80. What I'm here is the legitimate fact and logic. The statement is made, if something you want, you will pay that amount, is true. We know people who can't afford luxury vacations because they're in poverty, but they will scratch claw to make enough money to take their family or their kids or whoever or they self on that luxury vacation. That is a fact. You see a lot of people who live in the so-called hood or ghetto, where they live at, it's crazy, right? It's dangerous, it's whatever, but look at the type of car they're driving. They'll be driving a car, big rims, rolling on dubs. You look at them like, oh wow, look at your car, and you see where they live at, you be like, wait, what? Because that's what they want to do. So again, I'm not saying that $80 games is acceptable to me. I'm not saying that you should pay $80 for a video game. What I am saying is the statement that if you're a real fan, you would pay that amount of money. That's what I'm saying is correct. Because if you are a real fan of something, you will find a way to spend that money if you can. If it's within your reach and other people say that's too expensive, you're going to reach it because you are a real fan. So I'll bring myself up. Every year the WWE games come out, the 2K WWE games. This past year, or this current year, for the DLC with everything was $130, $129.99. Instantly, I paid that amount of money. Why? Because for me, I feel I am a real fan. And it doesn't matter if you don't want to pay that amount of money. I wanted to pay that amount of money because I feel I am a real fan, or I feel that the $130 was value to me. Now, your perception may be it's not that valuable. And so I say, don't spend it. So to this guy's point, I'm only bringing up the logic of his statement. That is, if you are a real fan, you will spend the $80. I feel that he should have said, if you feel that this game has value to you, then you will spend $80. Because that's essentially what it really comes down to. Anything you feel has value, then you are willing to pay that price. That proposition of, I'll give you this for this. If you feel this has a high value, you'll spend whatever this is because it's going to match the value. So I don't think he was wrong. And I think a lot of people who allow their emotions and not their logic to hear that statement that if you're a real fan, you'll spend $80 for Borderlands 4. People ran away with, oh, Borderlands, the company Gearbox isn't the same like another company, like, who make Grand Theft Auto and this and that. There was a lot of different people coming out and reasons why they was quick to say, hey, how could he say this? Why would he back up $80 games? But simply in the statement that if you are a real fan, you will spend $80 for Part 4 of Borderlands. Nothing was incorrect in that statement. I find that statement to be really true. So let's do it in reverse, right? Imagine if you are the fan, right? And the game has no price. And you'll be like, man, listen, I love Borderlands so much. Even if it's $80, I'm going to pay for it. Somebody who's not a fan might look at you and be like, bro, why would you pay for that? You're going to look them in the eye and say, you're not a real fan. So you don't understand. But if Nintendo's charging $80 for Mario that look like it should be on the Nintendo 64, then you're going to be like, I would spend $80 for this because I'm a real fan. See, if you rework it that way and you don't take it as somebody's telling you what you have to pay for, because that's where the emotion comes in. You feel like somebody's telling you what you have to do. So your emotions get invested and feel like, whoa, you can't tell me to do nothing. If you reverse it and you as the fan say, man, I like this game so much, I'll pay $80. It's a difference. It's a difference. Now, I look at myself. Every year I know the WWE game's going to come out. And every year I say, I don't care how much the extra DLC is, I'm going to pay for it. Now, my thing is, I won't pay for, like, when you can pay for helmets and all that type of stuff. I don't ever care for, like, the books and the whatever. I buy everything digital. So I don't care about all the extra stuff that you could get. That's a physical thing. But for me, when it comes to everything that's digitally, I'm going to pay the top dollar. I don't even, and so if you think about, you go back the year before, it wasn't $130. It was like $120, right? So it got more expensive. I didn't even know how much it would be. I simply said that whatever WWE 2K 2025 costs, I'm paying that to get everything. I didn't need somebody to say, if you're a real fan, you'll spend $130. Because if they said that, I'd have been like, take my money, I'm a real fan. I said that I will pay whatever it costs. So again, if you allow your emotions to get to you when you hear somebody tell you how much you need to spend. Now, here's the question. I wonder how many people who are upset are actual fans of Borderlands. Because I bet some fans of Borderlands like, well, Nintendo's spending $80. I got to have the game because I'm a fan. I played 1, 2, and 3. And the Tiny Tina and all the other stuff. So for me, I gotta pay $80, or I'm willing to pay $80. So again, I not defending $80 games. I don't think $80 games should be the normal. I'm glad they do have some games that's going to be still $39.99, $59.99, you know, $69.99. But you know, whoever want to pay $79.99, that's on you. That, you know, it is what it is. I'm sure they're going to have a game that I like, and I'm going to pay that amount of money because I want that game. But I just felt that here's what's going to happen. Nintendo was going to start this, and you know, gaming follows suit. That's just what gaming is. You give one gaming company an inch, they'll all want to take that same inch, and therefore the gaming industry has taken a mile. But anyway, guys, I think the statement that if you are a real fan, just the statement, if you are a real fan, you will pay $80 for Borderlands 4. I think that statement is accurate. I don't think there's anything wrong with the statement, and I think if you don't find value in Borderlands 4, then you shouldn't pay $80. But if you do find value in Borderlands 4, then you should pay $80 because you have no choice, right? If you're a real fan, then you would probably want to play the game. You could boycott the game if you want, but in the hopes that maybe it'll lower or they won't make the price because you're a real fan and you still want to get it. And so I'm not saying a real fan will definitely pay it. A real fan might be like, look, I'm a fan of the game, I love it, but this is going to break me, and this is where I'm just no longer going to be a fan. Or, you know what, I'll just wait for a sale. You're still a fan, but you rather wait. But I don't think anything was wrong with his statement. So with that being said, thank you guys, I appreciate it. And now your mama knows. Oh, man.
I'll make you famous.
Because I'm a cowboy! Oh, man.
And now, your mama knows.